Welcome to Zero Hit Points for the week of July 1st. I'm Ryan Miller, and the amount of time I thought his frozen, disconnected picture was him deep in thought is both embarrassing and hilarious. Via Discord, via internet chat, everybody. Matt Amber. Should I redo that one?
No, I'm just frozen.
Oh. That's funny, because I was paranoid for so long. From what I understand, you had a great conversation, too, while I was gone.
I tried to. I mean, you didn't disagree with anything I said. And then when you finally came back and started speaking, you were immediately upset with what I was talking about. Like, no.
Let's hope that's not going to be an issue. Now, every time you go silent, I do get paranoid.
I know.
So.
I'm going to preemptive watch this. Thursday Book Club for Movies. Okay. I feel like we had a primer moment right there. There was some A to B, some B to A.
Which we'll find out on Thursday, I guess. That's gonna be a fun one. I'll spoil it. It's gonna be a fun one.
It's gonna be something. We have just as inside baseball here. I like the term. I'm gonna say it a lot. We record Zero Hit Points ahead of Book Club for Movies, so we haven't actually had the discussion yet.
No. But we say, because now we changed the dating. We changed how we date.
Oh, no. I love dating. But no.
Okay.
My point was that you are right. It's going to be a fun one, but is it? We don't know.
Or it already was.
But it already was. And then it could be, but was it? We won't know until Thursday. On Tuesday, when we find out about Thursday.
No. When are we? See how many bad time travel jokes we can come up with. Between now and then. This isn't the time travel one. This isn't the time travel one. This isn't the movie one. This is the video game one. Where we talk about video games. We've played them. We're going to talk about them. It's crazy. It's pure, absolute, unadulterated craziness.
That's right. We are lunatics, and we are on the fringe of. We're the lunatic fringe.
Yep, I saw that coming. Yeah. We play games. We talk about them. Almost nobody has come up with this yet.
We are definitely innovators in the podcasting field. If you haven't heard us, but have heard other video game podcasts, they stole our idea.
Those are some of my favorite jokes lately. I don't know if I was fully aware of I feel like I've had the podcast idea in my head, like maybe from the first words we spoke to each other. I don't know. I probably didn't know what podcasts were back then, but I feel like I wasn't aware of how much everybody had that idea. Like there's a cartoon, I'm not going to credit it correctly, but it's just like three white dudes sitting around a table and like one of them has an opinion and the other guy's like, wait, did we just? And then all together they're like, start a podcast. I'm sure I'm not doing it justice. I'll find that and tweet it out or something.
It's if at worst you're doing an injustice, and I mean, pick your character. You seem,
and it's a video game one, so we can do that.
We can do that. It's fun.
Did you play Injustice this week?
I really considered it actually. I've been missing.
Highly unorthodox, but how far did you get in Injustice 2?
I finished it.
I know you did play. Oh, did you play?
Oh yeah, I finished every character. Went through the whole game with every character. I like, and
I feel like we didn't get an end on that.
Yeah. I finished it. I finished all the. I got all the endings on it. I didn't I never got all of obviously the gear. There's I think thousands of pieces of gear that get released regularly. There were some that I've got the Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, that's right. I remember you did her for a while, huh?
Yeah, she was fun. She's still fun. I ended up going to I was maining Reverse Flash for a long time.
That's right. Okay. This is all coming back to me, but I feel like it was off show talk mostly. I don't know how much we got into.
Because it's the same thing with like what did I play this week? Well, I played Mortal Kombat. Do I have anything to say about it? No. You've heard all of it. It's literally the same thing that I would have said about Injustice. So it's.
Well, I feel like we miss out on some like wrap up thoughts sometimes.
I feel like every time I wrap things up with those, because I mean, I think I've given Mortal Kombat everything I can give it outside of I'm playing it now because I enjoy the dailies and all that, but I'm still disappointed with stuff. I did try the Combat League this week. That's probably
so you do have more about Mortal Kombat.
Here's what I can say. Combat League is exactly what you expect. It's a ranked ladder match thing, or not ladder match, but it's a ranked system.
Tower.
You're gonna fight people at the beginning that are quote unquote your level, and then who knows what happens after that. And I went on because it has like you can get like everything like that. It's like the battle pass type thing almost, but you don't have to pay for it. You get extra skins and crap for playing it and going through and getting.
Oh, this is the one you were telling me about that has was it a scorpion skin or something you wanted, or no? Or there was like you had to get a zillion wins or something. I forget.
I don't know.
Didn't you tell me about this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Great. Super.
Sounds unfamiliar to me, but I could have been. Look, go back to the tape. There's no way to review any of this, but go back to the tape.
No. I think we weren't recording when you told me. Maybe that's why we don't remember.
Oh, now I just have no idea.
Cool.
The only thing I can think of is the soul fragment thing. That cost like 10,000 things and took me forever, and then I spent 2,000 because it didn't say 10,000, but I never had the thing in my inventory.
That was on air, I feel like.
Yeah, and then I got very angry about the fact that they just populated it. It was just in my inventory. Stupid.
Well, at least you played Mortal Kombat this week as opposed to Injustice, so
that's true.
More orthodox.
Yeah, well, that's what my people like. I try to stay along. If I wasn't losing my hair, I'd still have the curls. It'd be great. This is not so much I guess I just want to say this. Okay. Something I've been wanting to get for the longest time has been a projector.
Satisfaction.
Yeah,
Sorry.
also satisfaction.
I'll shut up.
Yes.
You just
you can only refer to that if you're referring to the Flying Lizards version of Satisfaction, which not that. The who
might not be.
No. Devo's version of Satisfaction. Sorry.
Oh.
The Flying Lizards did Money, and that's a totally different band, and not the Pink Floyd one. Anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh.
See,
I played Miss Pac-Man. Sorry. I played Miss Pac-Man.
Okay.
But I played it on a projector, on a big screen on a projector outside, and it was really fun.
I'm going to make you tell us all about that setup Thursday-ish or
sure,
whatever.
We could talk about that.
I'm all messed up in like 30 minutes.
You know what?
But Thursday.
The next episode.
The next episode. But I do want to hear about Miss Pac-Man or what that experience was like. Was Miss Pac-Man larger than your head?
No.
How many inches do you think that screen gets up to?
Well, the screen itself is 100 inches diagonally.
100 inches. All right.
It's not huge, but it's not tiny. It's gigantic. What do you?
So figure Miss Pac-Man is the size of your head. Easy.
She could be. I mean, I guess it depends on, and I haven't actually, for the projector itself, I don't know how big it'll get in toto, so possible.
And how's Miss Pac-Man doing?
She's good.
Did you win?
I will always love Miss Pac-Man.
High score?
No.
It's your game.
I did utterly terrible. I did terrible.
I can tell.
I just did terrible. Yeah. I didn't do well those games, but whatever. I broke the high score on a machine at our one of the local Mexican restaurants.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty funny. Totally.
Was that a thing, or do they unplug it every night and it matters very little?
I have no idea. It wasn't
okay.
It was a number I recognized, so I asked somebody's, and it was like I ended up with 82,000 or something like that.
Cool.
It was some stupidly high number. I ended up. It was kind of funny. We were walking out. Maybe it was close to 60,000. I don't know. It wasn't a very high score. I guess it was close. Yeah. Anyways,
the amount that I don't know makes this.
It's a lot. Don't worry about it. In any case, the best part about it was we were just like we just ate and we were just leaving, and I was like, "Hey, honey, do you have a quarter?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're gonna play Miss Pac-Man." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." She goes, "Okay, I'll just sit down over here for a minute." And I just kept playing and going, and like people were coming in and out, and like kids were like watching
gathering around the cabinet. The crowd got bigger and bigger.
I had people cheering me on, and then at the end, somebody poured like a bucket of Gatorade, except it was margarita all over me, and they gave me like a free thing of nachos. No, it was just
like in The Wizard.
It was just very funny to like. It was a really good cabinet too. Like I was really, really happy with the stick on it was really nice. It had the chip in it, the speed chip, so it was faster. It was good. I liked it. It was fun.
I'm glad you can get a better cabinet at a local Mexican dive restaurant. I don't know if it's a dive. I'm just calling it that. Rather than at PAX in downtown Seattle.
Yeah, how disappointing is that?
But they exist. It's happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's cool. That's all I got.
Wait, whoa, that's all? Like that's all you got? You got?
Yeah.
That's not just all you got for the opener that we rambled off the top of our heads? And now it's time to get down to business and talk about what you really played and what you really have thoughts about?
I guess we played Overwatch together.
We did. No, I wasn't.
Sorry. I have
I
no idea where you're going with this.
I didn't mean to lead the witness there.
Yeah,
I was just surprised that might be actually all that you had.
Okay, no, yeah, counselor. Let's go ahead and settle down. No, I've gotten...
Did you want to talk about Overwatch? I don't know. Like,
no,
that was fun.
We had fun.
No? Okay.
No, I thought that's where you're going. It was like, well, what are we going to say? We played it, and it was fun.
I'm never going anywhere.
And new characters that are new are pretty fun. I like Ash. You like Ash?
I love Ash. That was a lot of fun.
She kicks ass.
You know what? That's fine. You don't want to talk about that? Let's talk about games I played. Played some Overwatch. I love Ash.
You know what? Turn that around on me. Smart. Didn't see it coming. Should have.
Overwatch is Overwatch. It hasn't changed, but I'm sure it's changed a bunch. There's new characters, and the old ones do different things, and whatever. It's still, it doesn't take long for me to remember how much that game is in my top 5, 10, maybe ever. Easy.
It's really funny, it's totally shout out to Sliptide and Pandamelia, his partner in the household. Partnership. They've got a partnership. I'm not here to, who am I to judge?
We can't define it.
We can't say anything.
Who
it's
knows?
It's not my place. Okay. And I know where my place is. I know my role, and it's usually Kaiser. But
so say
Kaiser roll, dude.
Oh,
never bring up.
Sorry, I was just looking around the room and I saw Sose on the wall.
Anywho, so yeah, Overwatch. I'm happy. I started playing because Amelia and Sean were playing, and I had a lot of fun, and it was a fun game, and it is fun to play with friends and less boring. Like, I just don't want to play that game alone at this point, Like, you want to play, dude? I'm down. Let's pop that in. That's like an easy go-to. I'm at a point now too where we had played it a lot, and I was playing it on PC, so I was going back and forth and playing it just a ton. So I kind of burned myself on it, but it is super fresh again, and I had a lot of fun playing it. So,
well, that was at the center of, if you go back and listen to whatever 2, 3 scattered shows we talked about, where you kind of took a break from games, like you that I feel like was also at the competitive edge of, I don't know. I'm describing your life experience at this point.
No, so. I like it. Here's the thing. I'm not enjoying making my life experiences. So if somebody could tell me what they are, that would be fantastic.
Okay, cool. So you stopped playing it for a while, and then you've come back to it, and probably with new eyes and less concern for some of that, but still kind of a floating remembrance of what it meant to you at that time in that way.
I really wish I wasn't recording right now, because that was just like you said a lot of words, but why say a lot of words when few words do good? Like, I don't know what. Wow. I don't know what you're trying to say.
And now you're teaching me.
Yeah. Here.
You were giving me life experience.
I'm gonna break this down. Sure, it could be that, or it could just be that I was super burned out on the game, and now I'm having fun again because other people are playing it.
Okay,
I think you're doing the film school thing here, where you're
do not go back and listen to those episodes.
Everything has more meaning than it does.
Thursdays book club.
Brian Miller here is our Jim Jarmusch.
You don't call me Brian for a while.
I did, yeah. I'm gonna start calling you Jim Jarmusch. Because Brian.
How did that? Okay. I also played 2 other games. You've never heard of either of them. Actually, that's not true. You've heard of some of them, but you didn't know I was going to talk about them. Or you did, because you looked where I wrote them down that I was going to talk about them.
I can see into your mind's eye.
Okay. So the first one is Portal Bridge Constructor, or Constructor Bridge Portal. No, or Bridge Constructor Portal. I don't know.
So it's something licensed for with portal things.
Yes, correct.
Cool. Okay, what is it? Tell me. Go.
I think I just did.
Okay, do it more.
You construct bridges, which this thing was on sale. I saw it on some what can I say?
Okay, back it up.
All right.
Okay.
No, you can't back up, actually. They only move forward.
I don't think that's how bridges
saw it
work.
on sale, Xbox Live thing. So I picked it up, and it looked like kind of a small one-off arcade type title thing, and it is very simple in what it is. Like, you know, by the title, like I just said, what I'm playing here. I'm constructing bridges, and it takes place in the Portal universe.
Right. I'm with you.
But after I started playing it, and I should mention maybe this goes along with a new-ish thing I'm trying to do, because normally I sit down and I play my Red Dead, and then I have run out of time, and I've only played Red Dead this week, and that makes for poor shows and life experience, since we're all about that now.
Yeah, it's a huge part of the show. Next week, 0HP, the Lifetime Network version.
I should say poor. I should say there's a lack of variety.
Sure.
Whatever. So I'm trying to play one new game a week at the very least, so I have something to spice it up with, because I did play a bunch of Red Dead, but I'm not going to mention that.
Well, that's good.
Just did.
Finally.
When I got down to playing Portal Bridge Constructor Portal Bridge, it surprised me how deep it actually goes. Like, you can... The first beginning levels, you're building stuff. It's kind of tutorializing you. It's all very well and good. And then at some point, it mentioned something off the cuff, and I can't even remember what it was, but just kind of in passing, it mentioned some principle, and I can't remember. So then I dug into the tips, because it was like, you can also go to the index or whatever it is. And so I go and look, and it's only 8 pages long, but it starts talking about like construction and like trusses and like weight distribution.
Well, sure. You're building bridges. It's not. This is not rocket science. It's just as important.
Well, yeah. Apparently, it's deep. It does. There is this physics about it that they've built into it that make it possibly really daunting. If you couldn't also just build a bunch of garbage and it worked, you know?
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Was that part of the draw there? I never played.
No, I mean, I think the thing with roller coaster, I mean, everything kind of has to work otherwise, but like you totally can screw with the people and like cut off parts of the track, so they have this like beautiful long track that then they go wah, and they
okay, suddenly interested in roller coaster.
That's the draw for Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. No, it wasn't. It's not necessarily that with this. It's that it allows for garbage, literally. Like, you can build the most against physics monstrosity bridge known to man if you want, and as long as the general conceit of the game is you build bridges, and then to find out if it worked, you hit go, and it sends one little car. They look like forklifts or something like that, and they have like two little portal cutout people, you know, like they do the whole simple like a bathroom man or something. In the car, drives through, and if it gets across the bridge and gets to the goal, then you complete it. And then after that, you can choose to send the convoy, so it sends like 6 at once, and then your bridge kind of has to hold up to different stresses in different ways because more people are going, etc. And if there's cross traffic, you got to be careful so they're timed right and all that stuff.
Do you get to like edit the bridge in between things?
Yeah, no, it's a huge editor, and like I said, it goes
like reinforce it.
Yes, which is what I usually end up doing. But again, I'm reinforcing it. You can do like literally those pictures get down to like make the bridge curved, like so that it looks like a real bridge. Make the angles more perfect so that weight is actually distributed. Apparently that affects how quote unquote good your bridge is. But also, if you just build a bunch of crap underneath it until it covers the whole screen and eventually falls on the ground somewhere that ends up giving it support, it's gonna work somehow. Like, you can build ramps, so I'm like ramping over like through things I'm not supposed to. It's just very nice that it allows for that type of thing.
Sure.
And it's not so directed or linear that it's like, no, you didn't build it perfectly and you didn't build it in this way. So it's a smart decision, obviously.
It's funny. I'm going to get that for Beth. That's like everything she would like in a video game.
Really?
It's Portal related. It's architecture related. Like, I think she would love it.
It is fun. Like, I'm liking it. The Portal stuff is not up to like Portal quality,
sure.
But you get the idea.
It's all, I have to imagine that's all just look. It's a skin.
There's some, I mean, GLaDOS is in there. Elle McLean, I would even guess, is doing the voice and everything. Some of it's funny. You know, like I said, it doesn't reach the heights of... It's hard to compare yourself to Portal. It's fun to be in that universe. You know, that goes a long way. I probably wouldn't have bought this if that name wasn't on it.
Sure.
But, yeah, you know, you get it.
I get it.
It's a license more than anything.
Yeah.
And that's that. I really don't have much more. I don't know if I will.
Ever again?
I will be curious to see if what I've just said holds up to the end game, or if there even is an end game for that matter, I guess. Or if at some point they're like to funnel you somewhere, it has to be more exacting or harder in some different way or something like that. I don't know. I'll find out.
It could be like Sim City. Who knows?
Yeah, in that they still need to make a good one of those.
Ooh, cloud-based computing.
Since 2000, SimCity 2000. People like that one, right?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, all right. The other thing I played, I did mention, and that's maybe the only spot you've heard of it from, Cadence of Hyrule.
Yes, you talked about this one time by saying the words Cadence of Hyrule.
Okay, that sounds like me to a T. I also mentioned Crypt of the Necrodancer before that. Did you play that at all?
No.
Heard of that at all? Okay. I had heard of it for a long, long time. I know it made some Game of the Years when it came out, probably 2016, because I feel like that was a big year. But I had always been turned off of it because I heard it got pretty hard at times. And while I can enjoy that, I need to be in the right mood, and most of the time I'm not. So when this thing came out, and they said it's made by the team that made Crypt of the Necrodancer, the composer and everything, in fact, since music fits in real big, I'll look that guy up and tell you his name at some point. I was instantly interested in this thing because also they said that it's like way easier. So I'm like, okay, if I can get the gist of this thing and understand why people are loving this and also get some Zelda in there, I guess, some cool remixes of that famous tune.
Get him up there. Get him out there.
Then I could definitely be into this thing. Danny Baranowski is the name of the composer.
Danny B.
And I haven't listened to the soundtrack for Crypt of the Necrodancer. I probably should, because what he did with this thing is fantastic. I don't care, like in-game or not. I'm downloading this thing to play in the car on the way to things.
Oh.
It's really good.
Love that.
The game itself is basically, it's Zelda, right? You're looking at top-down thing. I don't know how much this is like Crypt of the Necrodancer, but it maps to Zelda perfectly, right? It's the same top-down thing you're looking at. Well, I should say the older Zeldas, Link to the Past maybe, although it's got that kind of new wave-ish pixel game to it. Like, it's not technically 8-bit or 16-bit or any of that. It looks like the Scott Pilgrim game for 360, if you ever played that.
The all the effort they make they put in to make it look bad. Yeah.
No, I don't think.
No,
I mean, I've seen bad ones of those.
It's the like the no. I'm just.
Oh, I see what you're saying because
yes,
yeah, okay,
there we
gotcha.
go.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
It looks very good, bad.
Good.
So you can move around the screen, except you are encouraged to move to the beat. So number one, you got to find the beat, but you're literally moving square to square based on the beat of the rhythm, right? Can you hear the imaginary
No,
sound
I'm
in my
looking
head?
at you and you're drumming it up and I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. It's great.
It looks like you're drumming actually the I'm loving it thing, like do 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 do.
Oh, well then I apologize.
Oh, I'm hungry.
But why would you eat McDonald's then?
Because it's like Chinese food. I can eat a bunch of it that I'm hungry in 20 minutes.
And you get sick?
Yes.
Okay. The enemies have a set way that they move also to the beat, so you're kind of trying to, it becomes a dance at that point, right? You're trying to navigate the grid in a way that you're manipulating how the enemies move, in fact, it almost becomes like Pac-Man in that way. Like if you've ever gotten into like real deep Pac-Man play where you, depending on how you move, influences how the ghosts move, and when you get that down, right, So it becomes this dance. And it's done in screens, right? So if you think about how the original Zelda, you would move to the edge of the screen and you would progress to the next one, that type thing. Yeah. So it's done like that. It's not edge to edge like that, but there are distinct areas wherein if you beat all of the enemies in that area, you get a diamond. And the diamond is what you use to buy new items for your next go round, because it's got kind of a roguelite and or like whatever you feel like saying at this point, nature to it. So you die, you are met with a screen where you can buy some items to make your next run a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. You don't keep anything, I don't think. Like even the weapons, I feel like, no, there are some weapons I do always have. Okay, and that follows down the right column if you press start. Okay, I'm not that far into it. I'm one dungeon and I'm maybe 25% of the way through the game. And it's not a long game, so that's still not a whole bunch.
I've been playing for 10 minutes.
But no. But you can buy some stuff to make your next trip easier. So
sure.
It's super fun. Like I am really, really liking it. I'm glad I got it. if I had anything to say against it, and I don't know if this is because this is the really easy version of Crypt of the Necrodancer or whatever, but it does at times seems like, and again, I'm only 25% of the way through at best, that I'm missing a layer. I'm missing one more layer. Like I feel like I've been maybe through the tutorial and I'm looking for the next thing. I'm looking for that thing that emerges halfway through or clicks halfway through in a game where you're like, oh, okay, like this is something completely different and new, you know?
Sure.
I don't know if they're just going to keep this throughout the game and that's what it is. And that if they do, that's fine. Like it's addictive enough and the soundtrack's good enough and it's a cool enough concept and I'm into that, you know, especially if it's short.
Yeah.
But if this thing is able to add that next level onto it by the end, I don't know if it's a boss battle or whatever the next level is, then this could be like
the last
really great.
The last level is going to be like hyper version of Dance Dance Revolution.
You can play it. I don't know why Dance Dance Revolution reminded me of this, but you can play it without the beat aspect at all. Like if you want, there's a mode where you can just choose that doesn't matter. And then I think it's more about navigating the map. And
well, at that point, why don't you just beat yourself up for being a butthole? Play the game as
there's
intended.
No option for that in the menu. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Play the game as intended with the beat.
Play with the music, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I guess you still get to listen to the music otherwise, but
play to the beat or beat yourself.
There you go. TM. Call them up with a headline.
0 hit points. Beat yourself.
And that's all I have. Those are all the games I played.
If you played any more games, I don't know. I don't know how much time you would have had in the day.
That's a lot of games. It's 2 new games.
It's brand new. You're
in a single week.
You're killing it. You're killing the game. You're killing the game.
Can't come back next week where I talk about the same ones because I can't start a new one. I've got to finish these.
Just kidding. He's going to talk about Red Dead Redemption next week.
I actually have played. It's okay. It hasn't been a new game, but I got back into a game that we talked about shortly. But then I stopped playing it because I needed to bone up a little bit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the denouement is going to look like, huh?
You know, kind of. I'm talking about Black Ops 2, actually.
Oh.
And I don't want to talk about Black Ops 2. And you know what we do when we don't want to talk about something?
Yeah, we skip it because it's Destiny.
30 minutes later. No, yeah, I will totally come back to it. I got back into it, but I haven't been back into it for a while, so I'm lost on the story. So I want to go back and get a refresher on Black Ops 1. And, anyways, Black Ops 2.
Okay.
I've only got 2 things in the world of games this week that I thought might be interesting.
Okay. I want to hear 2 things of the world of new things that are good for us and healthy vitamins.
Okay. One of them you told me about, actually. And I probably still would have put it on the list, but
I don't think so.
No?
I've never told you anything. I provide suggestion.
Sure.
I don't tell you things. We don't have that kind of relationship.
From what I understand, you said put this in the show or it's over.
Oh, that didn't mean what it sounded like.
Okay. Alan Wake is a video game that we like because it's made by Remedy, which is made up of people that we like.
Mm-hmm. Those are all true statements in a row, like multiples.
Mm-hmm. That's how we roll here, truthfully.
All right. Well, we already are reversed back down to 0.
Sorry, I'm looking at this. Has come from Polygon. I got an actual article up here, and apparently there's some like investors and stocks things in it. So I want to make sure I get it right because I have no idea about that stuff.
Good.
Publishing rights for the Alan Wake series of games has reverted back to the original developer, Remedy Entertainment. That's important because we want to see Remedy make more Remedy, but I guess they probably could have done that. I didn't say from who they reverted. I know that was a Microsoft game. I'm wondering if that was what it was. Okay,
yeah, cool. It had to be Microsoft.
Okay. In so doing, they received a 2.5 million euro windfall. So
and I love this because I just like to imagine what's his name, Sam Lake.
What's his name? You love
Sam
him.
Lake.
What's his
Sam
name?
Lake, like walking into work that morning and finding out, and in his very, they're like, I think they're Finnish. They're like they're in Finland. Him just being very like, okay, coffee. And that's it. And then they were just like...
Because of the coffee gif he did?
Yeah.
Follows him around.
But I just don't imagine him being like... I don't imagine any of them being super amped. I feel like they're all like really reserved about it. And they're like, cool, are we going to do anything with this? No. Keep going. Move forward. We have control.
It's true. They're in the middle of making Control, which is getting good early buzz. But I mean, like we care.
Yeah, I mean it's
day one, and we're gonna love it.
It's one of those that again we've talked about this, and I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. They are one of the only studios that so far for me have never dropped the ball. We
liked Quantum Break. You don't know how bad it is over here.
I loved Quantum Break. I thought
we loved
that
it.
Was so cool. I loved the TV show thing. I thought that was super fun.
It was bad.
It was not good, but I loved it.
Lance Reddick, John Wick 3.
Super
in theaters now.
Yeah, hey, where's the TikTok man in all of this?
Is that his name in John Wick?
It's Jason Mantzoukas' name. His character. TikTok man.
No, so they got a lot of money, and I can't wait to see what they do with
it. I know that Lake has mentioned multiple times that they had kind of something going. They knew what the story was going to be, and
Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, and Microsoft was just not in on it. They just didn't want to do it.
Which is interesting because hearing this, I wonder if this was one of those like make a game of it or the rights are going to revert. Like movie like style type thing. You hear about that, right?
Sure.
I wonder if this was one of those, and if so, like Microsoft in not taking Alan Wake 2 basically was like, okay, these are going to be yours and. No time anyway.
That would be great. I hope that a little tiny team is being put together to start the beginnings of Alan Wake shortly after Control is put out.
Imagine they would, right? Like they didn't appear to have any qualms about doing it. They had it ready to go now that it's their call.
Yeah, well, I think the question, I've got to wonder. Like, obviously Polygon and other places are putting this out because Alan Wake has such a loved pedigree. People dig the game, man. It's got a history of love and joy. So I have to imagine at least a chunk of that is like reminding people and drumming up, some interest there. And
sure,
hopefully Remedy will see that and go, oh, okay, we'll make the game. Or however Finnish people talk.
Coffee. Yeah. No,
coffee.
Exactly the other thing, if that was kind of a you thing, this is kind of a me thing. Although you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy this as well. I just enjoy the historical aspect to it.
Which one of us is Lennon and which one is McCartney? You're McCartney because your mom sees you. I win.
I feel like...
Okay, never mind. Let's move on. You be the drummer from Def Leppard, and I'm going to be...
I'm reluctant to compare us to either of those genie eyes.
You be the drummer from Def Leppard. I'll be the bass player from Yes, and we'll meet in the middle.
That's better.
Okay.
I don't think genie eye is a word either.
You know what? It is.
Unless you're talking about multiple genies.
It means three different things. It's like there, and there. You've got, multiple geniuses, multiple genies, and then also multiple genes, like gene
as
shorts.
If to demonstrate the genius.
The denim, as it were.
Also coming from Polygon here, I'm just going to read the first paragraph. Wolfenstein Youngblood and Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which I had to click on to even figure out what that was. Do you know? Let's litmus test. Do you know what Wolfenstein Cyberpilot is?
No, but I'm very excited to hear about it.
It's their VR.
I was gonna.
Never heard of it.
As soon as the words pooped out of my mouth, I knew. I was like, oh, it's VR.
The next titles in the alternate future first-person shooter series from Bethesda Softworks will be released uncensored in Germany.
It's kind of crazy.
It is, actually. I love this kind of stuff. I mean...
Would you like to explain yourself on that, my friend? Or former friend, depending on how this goes.
You know what? Check this out. I went to history school, so...
You went to history school?
Didn't see that coming, did you? I've always been interested. I did. You know what? Okay. I'll make this as bad as you were expecting it to be.
Dig the hole.
I did my thesis on fascism in film.
Not only is that, it's like the nerdiest thing. My name is 23-year-old Ryan Miller. This is my story about fascism in film. Let me talk to you first about Charlie Chaplin.
This is eerie, stunningly just eerie in your accuracy. No, that's I'm interested in history, whatever.
No, I love history.
It's always interested me in the whole generational shift since, and this. Okay, so in Germany, like Nazism and Nazi iconography has been outlawed for some time, you can imagine, and for, you would say, good reason.
I would say that, yes.
Yes, right? And not that it's not, but one of the interesting byproducts of that to me has always been this era in the 70s where the up and coming generation, once the baby boomers, baby boomers can affect the direction of a country. Did you know this?
I can't wait for them all to die.
when the German baby boomers came of age, the younger kids started to react in a way because they very much saw that generation's answer to Nazism being don't talk about it, like sweep it under the rug in a way. And outlawing the imagery was kind of part and parcel with that. And again, we're talking about history here. We're dealing with systems, right? We're dealing with, I'll talk about it like it's a video game. We're many different aspects and things, and just
those are video games, right?
Okay,
many different aspects and things are video games, if I've ever heard
that
it.
Move in different ways and all this stuff. History isn't open and closed, like, etc. It's an interpretive discipline. So I said, well, why don't you try acting, my good friend? No. I'm just going to use it every week.
I hope so.
So the younger generation rebelled against this, and they did so in lots of fantastic ways. There's a movie that I haven't watched yet that's been on my list forever, and I just haven't been able to locate it more often than not. It's called Baader-Meinhof Complex, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah.
You can speak German. You say it.
I can't speak German, but I've always said it Baader-Meinhof.
Baader-Meinhof, thank you. And that was the RFA, the Red Faction Army, right? This is the reaction against all this super left-wing West German movement, blah, 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 blah. The fact that they're seeing in the video game world and I guess this came with some, change in German national policy late last year, allowing the use of such iconography, quote, if the artistic use is justified by the content in the game. And that's interesting, again, from a historical aspect, but also it's interesting given what the context is going to be for a Wolfenstein game.
Yeah. Meaning, I like that the German government is ostensibly saying, killing Nazis is fine.
Basically,
in
right?
games.
Like, that was the good part of the Nazi era, right? Was when they got to die. Remember that?
You ever see the movie The Wave?
No. Should I?
Oh yeah, you might like that one too. It's more modern day, but it's totally about the concept of fascism and how easily it spreads. And it's about a school teacher that sets up. He's doing a demonstration and he splits the class up, and one part of the class becomes this like it turns into how groups like that grow and grow and grow when you are kind of pushed into having something like that. It's a really
documentary.
No. It's actually, I think it's based off a book, so it's a narrative.
It's crazy because I feel like I know the book it's based off of because you open the door. A lot of people don't know that fascism sprung up like almost organically and simultaneously in different parts of the world before Nazism.
Well, of course.
Like, it was this wave that swept across Europe in the weirdest way. And even reading the book I'm thinking about, which is literally a black and white book titled Fascism, just in big black letters on the front of it.
Like, those are cool, man. That's like those
Excellent.
things you go into those like old timey grocery stores. It's just like all the food has like a black and white label and it just says beer.
Yeah, no, it looks exactly like that.
You're just like, here's a book. Oh, there it is. It's like a directional manual.
My favorite of that food was the peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
I remember it. And I remember it being like really crunchy, and then figuring out later that's because I was basically eating like granulated sugar.
Good peanut butter.
Yeah. Anyways, I like history.
Yeah.
That was interesting. This is all interesting. This is what you come here for.
Yeah. Speaking of fascism, that's the end of the show.
Okay. Doesn't follow.
It does. I'm telling you, it has to be this way. We have to end it now. You must finish this show now.
Shoehorn it. Okay.
Stop the talking.
I'm uncomfortable with the way this is going.
Cut the tape.
If you've got complaints, send them to podcast@0HITPOINTS.com. We're going to be back on Thursday with some talk of Primer, the movie Primer, and it's going to be fun, like we said.
Oh, wait.
Anything else?
We're talking about the movie Primer. I thought I was supposed to be huffing Primer. We were going to talk about that experience.
Not mutually exclusive.
My bee.